Hey there. Have you ever said to yourself, I don't need to invest or save for retirement because my business is my retirement plan? I hear this one a lot from entrepreneurial women, and I know it's a very popular idea, right? After all, you're building your business, this is your brainchild, it's your dream, and it's probably your main source of income if you've been doing it for a little while and it's supporting your family. So naturally, you want to invest all of your extra cash back into your business to help it grow faster, right? But if you're like most women, when you started your business, you began by trading time for money, right? There's that whole solopreneur thing. We hustle, 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 hustle. And even once you've built a team like me, you still need someone to manage and lead that team, which means you're still trading your time for money. And the bigger your business gets, it's likely that the problems have not gone away. You just have different and sometimes bigger and better problems, right? So, how does a business fit into your retirement plan? Is it possible to make a business a retirement plan? That's what we're going to talk about today. So, comment below. Let me know you're here on live. Say hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I can see how many people actually watched the training. And if you want, you can share with me what type of business you have. So, I will tailor my examples to fit you and your business. All right, let's get started. So here's a little quick intro if you don't know who I am. My name is Sarah Nicole Nadler. I'm a licensed financial advisor in the state of Kansas and Missouri, and I help business women to become financially free by becoming confident investors. This means buying or building assets that will pay us passively every single month. So today we're going to talk about that. First of all, when it comes to the topic of retirement, if you've been following me for a little while, you probably know I'm not a big fan of the R word. Retirement, when I think of retirement, I think of like age 65 and you hustle and hustle and hustle and every single day until then, hoping that someday you'll have enough in some kind of nest egg that you can escape hustle culture and just live out the rest of your life. Well, I don't really like the idea of hustling every day until I'm 65. I also don't really love the idea of just stopping one day because I love what I do. So, if you're like me, then let me take you on this journey towards financial freedom instead of retirement. So, here in Fierce Feminine Finance, we focus on financial freedom. And what that means is buying or building assets that will pay you passive income every month. Financial freedom, there's a lot of different ways people define this. When I'm talking about it, I'm saying instead of trading our time for money, we're going to own assets will pay us passive income that exceeds our basic expenses. So I call that your freedom number. It's how much in monthly passive income do you need in order to no longer have to trade your time for money? Because when you are no longer having to work, right? You can still give back to your community. You can still serve your clients. You can still do those things, but you're doing it out of choice, which means you're taking more responsibility for the action of actually getting that result for clients, right? Because you're not doing it just purely out of money motivation. There's actually no money motivation anymore, right? I literally serve my audience because I love to and I'd like to do it even if I wasn't being paid, right? So this makes it possible for you to do all the parts of your business that you love without having to worry about where the funding is going to come from. And that can make it possible for you to increase your impact, help more people, right? And also live the lifestyle of your dreams. So the question isn't really, can my business help me retire, right? Like at age 65 or older, can I just stop working one day? Yeah, sure, you could use a business to do that. But I think the better question is, can my business be a source of passive income? And if not, then how can I leverage the business that I have built so that when I'm ready to step away and live my dream lifestyle, it can be a resource that I use to accomplish that? Okay, you want me to answer that question today? Comment yes if you're ready to know the answer of how you can leverage a business to be a part of your financial freedom plan, not just your retirement plan. Okay, let's dive in. Now, To help you implement the things I'm going to be talking about in the training today, I did go ahead and create a workbook that goes with this training. So if you would like a copy of it, just comment the word workbook below, and my team or I will reach out to you either during the training or afterwards to make sure that you get your copy. Okay? The workbook goes over 20 different ways that you can do what I'm going to talk about today. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this. All right? Okay. There are 5 ways that your business can be a part of your overall plan for financial freedom or retirement. But before I explain all of those 5 strategies, which I'm going to go over today in this training, you first have to understand how the old retirement strategy worked, right? The formula for the average person to retire by age 65 is typically based on the amount of income that they would need to replace their current income when they no longer have a job, right? So when we think about retirement and we talk about retirement strategies like 401ks and having an IRA and stuff like that, most of the time we're talking about a person who's trying to replace their job, not their business, right? That retirement planning model is a generally accepted one amongst the financial advisor community, and it's distributed to the general population, but it was never meant for business owners. It's actually not the best strategy typically. So what is that strategy? Just so we understand the old one, so we can throw it out and use the new one, right? The old one is you're going to invest, right, in a 401k or an IRA or what have you, until you have amassed enough wealth, you've saved up enough that you can live off of 4% of your savings for the rest of your life. That's the old retirement model, right? That 4% rule is meant to make sure that you don't run out of money in retirement. So if you want to live comfortably, like let's say I would want to live off of $100,000 a year, I would need $2.5 million in order to do that. So if I had started at age 25, okay, I had 40 years left until retirement. Let's say I had nothing saved. I had never invested at age 25, which is true. I hadn't. Then if I averaged an 8% per year, and I was contributing an additional $750 per month. I kept investing more and more and more, right? $750 per month. Then I would probably have around $2.5 million on which I could retire comfortably and live on $100,000 a year and not run out of money in retirement. So that's kind of the old model of retirement, right? But here's the question for you. If you are a new businesswoman at age 25, you're probably just starting your business. How are you supposed to do that? How are you going to create an extra $750 a month to invest outside of your business? Okay. That's pretty difficult for most 25-year-old women that I have met who are entrepreneurial, right? And this assumes you have 40 years left. What about me? When I started, I was already 30. So I would have had to invest way more than $750 a month, right? Just to retire comfortably by age 65. That means I have to hustle all the way there and hopefully make it, right? Gambling on my chances in the stock market, right? So if you're a businesswoman like me, you don't have a 401k, or if you do, there's no one contributing to it but you, right? You don't have a company to match it because you are the company, right? And that whole business model or that whole retirement model is also based off of a principle that doesn't necessarily apply to us as businesswomen, right? Because both the traditional IRA and the traditional 401k are tax deferred vehicles. So just so I don't make anybody confused, I want to talk a little bit about how your investments get taxed. Oh yeah, see? That's, you say you're 55. I started at 30. Imagine how much you would have to save now to actually have amassed $2.5 million in just 10 years. So you could retire at 65, right? Like, it's not possible. There has to be a better business model. And there is. I'm going to show it to you. But first, I want to make sure you guys understand these principles. So I'm not teaching you something you can't understand. So I'm going to get out of the way here so you can see my screen better. There we go. Good. So let's understand how your money gets taxed when you invest it. So if I just picked up my phone and I downloaded something like the Stash app or Acorns or any of these other brokerage accounts that I can open on my phone, right? And I did a personal investment account, not a retirement account, but just a regular old brokerage account. That is going to be a taxable account. Okay. That means that my money is getting income taxed before I put it into that account. And then all the growth that it sees in that account is also going to be taxable. This isn't good because we're basically being taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed while trying to build wealth. And that's going to be really, really a struggle, right? And the problem here is that as a businesswoman, the problem I'm going to run into is that when I put my money into this taxable account, it is not a tax deductible event, right? So whereas if I invest it back in my business, I get a tax break. If I put it in this account, it's not a tax break. So it hurts me both directions as a businesswoman, right? See how this is a little bit different than if you're an employee. Now, what about a tax deferred account? Like I said, your traditional IRA, your traditional 401k, those are tax deferred and they're great for employees because an employee gets to put their money in and take a tax cut because they put that money in that 401k this year, right? So any money that you put in your 401k, you put in your traditional IRA this year, you're getting a tax deductible event right then and there. So you're going to save on taxes. And the idea is, right, for an employee that their money is going to grow and grow and grow over 40 years. And when they hit age 65, they'll hopefully, this is the plan, right? They'll hopefully be living off of less income than they are now because they paid off their home, their kids are out of the house, they don't need as much income as they did while they were working. That's the idea, right? And so they'll be in a lower tax bracket. So even though their money has grown, the rate that they're pulling it out will be a lower tax bracket. So they're going to end up paying less in taxes in the long term. That's the idea behind a 401k or an IRA. Why does that not work for a businesswoman? Right? Why does that not work for us? I'll tell you why it doesn't work for us. It's because in the beginning years of our business, we have so many tax breaks because we're not profitable, right? That first year you were in business, how much profit did you really make, right? You have so many tax cuts that you don't really need another tax cut, right? But then later on, when your business has become a multi-million-dollar business, right? You got multiple employees, you scaled it as much as you want to, and you're ready to exit. That's when you could use a tax break. And that's when you don't get one because you're in a tax deferred vehicle, and deferred means to put off till later. So later is when you're going to pay all your taxes. So this is not a great idea for most business women, right? Now, there are a few instances, of course, where you would use it and blah, blah, blah. If you're in a one-on-one with me, I can show you whether or not that's a good fit for you. But generally speaking, this isn't a great strategy for us as businesswomen, right? What would be a good strategy is to have a tax advantaged account, which I talk about in other trainings. But the key here is that we don't necessarily want to go putting all our money into a 401k or a traditional IRA, right? That, in addition to being really tough because we need to reinvest it back in our business for our business to grow, it's also not a great idea because of taxes, all right? So what could we be doing instead? Let's get to this. So first thing we need to do in order to implement the strategy I'm about to teach you is you need to know your freedom number. What is your freedom number? A couple of you guys have been following me for a little while, so you can comment below freedom number and tell me your freedom number, okay? If you don't know how to calculate your freedom number, it's pretty simple. You're going to do a little journaling exercise, create a little vision board or whatever it is your style, right? And figure out for yourself, what does my ideal day look like? And specifically, I want you to ask yourself this question. This is the question I ask inside the free workbook that I put for this training, okay? If you had all the time in the world and the complete support of your family and your friends, what would you be doing with your time if you no longer had to trade it for money, right? That's an ideal day. That is like how you would spend your life because you didn't have haters going on, right? You had total support of your family and friends, and you had all the time in the world, right? All 24 hours of the day were yours. You did not have to trade it for money anymore. What would you be doing with your time? Okay. So for me, it looks like what I'm doing right now, which is giving back to my community, right? Running my charitable organization, writing a lot of fantasy romance books, right? Like these are the things I like to spend my time on because I don't have to always trade it for money, right? So that's point number one. Once you've kind of mocked up in your head or written it down on paper of what that looks like for you, now just jump on Google and cost it out. If your ideal day looks like you traveling to a new country every month, well, then how much are the flights going to cost? What's the transportation going to be? How are you going to get around? What are you going to live in? Right? Like, cost those things out and get a rough idea of what is your freedom number, meaning how much in passive income every month do you need to be making in order to be financially free. If we don't have that idea, then we're not going to know what to do with your business when you're ready to be done with it. Okay, so this comes first, is understanding your freedom number, understanding how taxes are going to implement or are going to impact what we're about to do, right? Okay, give me that freedom number if you know what it is. How much is your freedom number? Now that we have all those basics in place, now we can take a look at what do we do with the business, right? What are we going to do with this business when we're no longer needing to use it to trade time for money to earn income? All right. So there's 5 different strategies for ways we can leverage your business to earn passive income. All right. The first one is to bring on a partner and have them buy you out. So I'm going to get a little more personal here with you guys for a second. This is a great strategy if you are an expert in your industry. Okay. If you are a business coach or consultant, if you are a health coach or fitness professional, if you're a doctor of any kind, whether it's chiropractic or eye doctor or right, OBGYN, anything, if you own your own practice, right, and you are in health or wellness or wealth, right, like myself, you're a financial advisor, if you're a lawyer, any of these professional experts, strategy number one is a great fit for you, because what you're going to do is you're going to look out in the world, okay, and you're going to go, okay, where can I find someone who's younger than me, right, or earlier in their career than you? Doesn't necessarily have to be younger, right, but earlier in their career than you. They want to work for another 40 years. They are so excited. They're just getting started, right? And they're smart enough to know that rather than building their own practice or building their own business from scratch, they had probably a chance at least to get a few steps ahead if they simply bought your business from you. Okay. But they're not ready to do that yet. They're just beginning. Maybe they don't have the funding yet. Maybe they feel like they need a little bit more experience and they want to work under you. So you're going to mentor them. All right. And they're going to be maybe like 1 or 2% partner in your business. Okay. As part of that compensation plan, you're going to negotiate with them, right? Talk to the lawyers about exactly how to put all that together, but you're going to negotiate a partnership with this person and you're going to mentor them for a few years while you get all your ducks in a row and get ready for you to exit your business. When you're ready to exit, because you have other income streams, right? Other passive income streams that are ready to support you. Now, all you have to do, because you've been training this person for years, they already know the processes of your business. They're already fully bought in on the idea of your business because they work there full time, right? Now you simply have them buy you out. Great. There's 2 ways we can do that that will lead you to have passive income for the rest of your life. The first one is owner financing. Let's say this person has been working with you this whole time. They don't have enough funding to buy you out completely. That's fine. Just negotiate a contract so that the business pays you out every single month a certain amount of money, which becomes passive income for you. And that partner is slowly buying you out of the business, right? It's a win-win situation for everybody. Or they go and they get an SBA loan and they come back and they pay you a lump sum for your business. Now you are completely out of the business. You have this lump sum of cash that you can turn around and purchase, buy or build, right? Other assets that will pay you passively every month. If you're close to retirement age at that point, you're in your like late 50s, early 60s, you could even just take that lump sum and put in an annuity and have income for life guaranteed, right? So these are some of the ways that we can leverage the business to earn you passive income just using strategy number 1, which is bringing on a partner who will someday buy you out. All right. It's not going to be a short-term thing. That's why you want to think ahead and really start figuring out like, what is my exit plan? All right. Because that usually takes a couple of years to use that strategy. Strategy number 2, find a private buyer. Good. Maybe you don't want to have a partner. Maybe you think having a partner is really dumb, or you just are a very independent person and you just want to run your business yourself, that's totally fine. When you're ready to exit, right? And again, that means that either your business, you built it up to the point where its valuation is enough that if you just sold the business, you're going to be able to retire instantly, or you've built up other assets, multiple streams of passive income, and you're ready to take that last leap and just exit your business, right? Great. Go find someone who wants to buy it today. They don't have to partner with you. It could just be a brand new graduate, right? Someone who just finished law school, someone who just finished medical school, right? For me, someone who just got licensed as a financial advisor yesterday and they want to start a business. Great. Sell them yours. Okay. That's number two. And again, we're going to use either one of those two funding strategies I told you about. Either they're going to go take an SBA loan and they're going to pay you in lump sum and you're going to invest that, or they're going to do owner financing and you slowly over time sell your business to them, right? But you're out of it on day one. Now they're in charge. They got to get it to roll, right? Number three, very similar, but this one has a little bit more legwork, okay, is obtaining a buyout or merger. This is where instead of looking for a private buyer, we look for a corporation that's in your industry already that has a reputation for buying out smaller businesses, okay? In almost every industry, there are these big conglomerates that tend to gobble up the smaller businesses, and that can be a huge opportunity for you to turn your business into a passive income stream. Now, these three strategies all involve selling the business, and those are only good for if you're an entrepreneur who's kind of like, yeah, I like what I do, but I really wouldn't mind stopping at some point, right? If you're like me and you love your business and honestly, it's a passion project for you and you never want to stop, then, but you still want to stop trading time for money and you want to have the option of whether or not you want to work today, right? Or you want to take a few months off to go hike the PCT with your husband like me. Oh, I got to get in shape. then strategy number 4 is probably going to be the best one for you. So let me, again, dive in here so you can understand this. So strategy number 4 is one I see a lot of business owners trying to do, okay? But they're missing the boat a little bit. I'm going to tell you what they're usually missing in my experience. I've helped a couple of different business owners do this, and in every instance, I saw the same mistake being made again and again and again. So strategy number 4 is where we build a team, okay? You start extracting yourself out of the business. Usually that means that either those team members have to make the business expand fast enough that you can afford to pay them, or you've got multiple other streams of passive income, and so you don't need to take income as much from the business, and so you're backing out by giving other people your jobs and other people your profit, right? So you build that team however you do it until you're only doing the things that you love to do, right? A lot of people say, well, you only do the things only you can do. That's silly. There's always someone who could do those things, right? So if you're a doctor, you hire an associate so they can see the patients, and you hire a receptionist so they can get patients in the door, right? If you're like me, you build up an entire team of licensed financial advisors who can see clients for you. And so you're only doing the parts that you love in your business, right? So building a team, and this is where a lot of business owners go wrong. This is why it ends up never being a retirement plan. It just ends up being where instead of being the worker bee, now you're just stuck being the manager all the time, and you have to deal with all these employees and all these problems that come with employees, right? Where people usually go wrong with strategy 4 is they don't know how to hire or create a CEO role in the company, okay? So sometimes I hear people tell me that like, oh, it's not possible for me to let go of my team, right? It's not possible for me to walk away because my team constantly needs me. That person is telling me that they don't have the leadership skills to either hire or actually train someone to be a CEO type manager. So if you have an office manager, but they're not actually running the show and you're still having to make a lot of decisions in the business, that's okay. It just means that your leadership has probably gone from 0 when you first started your business to maybe 50%. And we just got to take you the other 50% of the way there, right? There's more about leadership that you need to learn so you can actually get your CEO, right? Because your CEO or manager unless they come from a C-suite of a Fortune 500 company type of background, they probably aren't going to have the kind of leadership skills you need yet either. So if they don't have them, and then yours are about right here, you guys are equal in your abilities and skill sets as leaders. There's no one to teach your CEO how to be a CEO, right? So you yourself have to build those leadership skills so that you can train someone to be a CEO of your business. And when I say CEO, I mean they are running the entire show. They are not calling you all the time asking for, authority to make decisions. They are not asking you permission to pay a bill. They are not having to bother you to get the day-to-day done and to get the show on the road, right? Warren Buffett is an owner in 33 different companies. How many of them do you think he runs personally? None. He's an investor. He is an investor, not a CEO, right? So you need to put a CEO in place. And usually, right, that means training one. Unless your business has such a large profit margin, you can afford to hire someone who already has CEO experience. That's going to be a high ticket, right? It's much easier to take someone who already has managerial experience in the business and simply elevate their leadership skills to the point where they can actually run the show themselves, right? So that's strategy number 4, is to get a CEO in place and a good team in place so you can walk away and just be the investor in your business with that ROI coming to you every month, right? And no longer be a worker bee or a manager in your own business. All right, so that's strategy number 4. There's one strategy left for using your business to be a retirement plan or to leverage it to earn passive income, okay? And that is to build multiple streams of passive income and become completely financially free. So how does that work and how's that different? Well, first of all, to do strategy number 5, you could do any one of the other 4 strategies, right? But the key here is that we're also going to leverage your intellectual property. Most businesses have some kind of intellectual property. It could be a trade secret of how you do things differently than your competition. It could be a specific passion or expertise that you have. For example, right, as a business or as a financial advisor, I specialize in helping business women, right? And to achieve financial freedom, not just retirement. That's completely different than most financial advisors. If you go to, Edward Jones or any of these other like financial firms, you're not going to find someone who can do what I can do, right? They don't specialize in that. Same thing with your business, right? You may have a specialty of some kind and an expertise in the way you do things that's different than others. If we can package that up and turn it into a digital product or some kind of program that you offer or something that you license out to other experts that they can use white label or they can use in your name to earn you royalties or passive income every month, and we add that to any one of the other 4 strategies I talked about, that usually will make your progress towards financial freedom that much faster. So number 5 is definitely my favorite. I have an entire guide that I created on how to do that. And when you comment below workbook, I'm going to send you a copy of that for free, okay? But these are the 5 ways that I have found that we can leverage the business to earn passive income for the rest of your life so that you can become financially free and spend your time on the things that you love to do every single day. So if you're interested in learning more about these 5 different strategies, I wrote an entire article this week on each of those 5 strategies and the pros and cons, which I didn't get to talk about today. You want to check that out. It's at sarahnicolenadler.com/retirement for business. And you can go ahead and check it out. Now, last thing before I go, I just want to make one quick announcement. We are 1 week away from my Witches of Wall Street workshop. This is going to be an investor party going on inside my Facebook group all of next week. So join me inside for 7 days of fun, games, quizzes, and daily prizes that you can win. There is nothing to buy, okay? It's just pure Halloween fun. We're going to celebrate the season, the spooky season, with other businesswomen. I hope I see you there. Thank you so much again for coming on live with me today, and I will talk to you guys next time.